Thank you for stopping by. You're listening to Aspire and Reach for More with Gessy Martinez, providing insight and encouragement for healing emotions, finding hope after loss, and help in reaching your dreams. Today, we focus on what to do when we feel emotionally burnt out. In this episode, we'll look at what does it feel like to be emotionally burnt out? How can you prevent it? And is it too late to recover from it? We will aspire and reach for more in our lives by refusing to give up all time, energy, finances, and peace. Being emotionally burnt out is like driving a car with no oil. The oil in the engine allows the metal parts that are sliding and rubbing against each other to not grind down and damage each other. Your engine running out of oil will lose power, stall, and get damaged. This could lead to thousands of dollars in repairs when a $4 bottle of oil could have prevented the breakdown. So let's look at how we can prevent the breakdown in our lives. How do we keep ourselves from being emotionally burnt out? We have to start at the beginning of it and ask, what does it feel like to be emotionally burnt out? How will I know if I'm emotionally burnt out? Well, how you'll know is that you'll start feeling physically drained. Emotionally, you'll be on edge, you'll become impatient with other people, you'll feel nervous and anxious because you feel like you're about to forget something, like you're going to forget to do the most important thing, that you might drop something. When you're emotionally burnt out, you find that you might get sick often, having a lot of headaches, almost symbolic of the overthinking that's going on in your head. You might find that you're having backaches, symbolic of just carrying everyone and everything on your back. You might find that you're having stomach aches. And this is not symbolic. This is the anxiety, the stress that's happening is giving you feelings of having like knots in your belly. You'll also feel like when you're emotionally burnt out, like you're sinking. There's just too many demands and no one to help you meet all those demands. You might find yourself becoming short tempered, right? You get angry very easy. Even if you don't show it to others, you know on the inside, if they ask you to do one more thing, that you're going to become more and more frustrated and upset and just feel like you're detaching from everyone because it's getting to be too much. So you want to pull away, you want to pull back, but you don't want them to be hurt or offended. So you keep helping, but you know inside that you're really frustrated and that you're pulling back. When we're emotionally burnt out, we start trying to avoid people because we're afraid that they're going to ask us to do one more thing and we're already tired and exhausted. This is a time where you're frustrated because you feel like you can't ask for help. Why? Because the people that you would ask for help are busy. Or you think that you shouldn't ask them for help. Maybe they don't care. And then you have others who should be helping, but they're avoiding you altogether because they see that your workload or what you're taking on is a lot, and they're avoiding that because they don't want to take it on, but they also don't want to offer to help. When we're emotionally burnt out, sometimes you feel like you're just not enjoying the things that you worked so hard for. There was a time that it brought you excitement, and now it feels like it just takes everything from you. And it just takes more and more to do the thing that used to be easy to do. For example, that job you always wanted that you worked so hard to get, now you dread going to work because not because you don't like the work, but it's because you are emotionally exhausted. Or that relationship you just couldn't wait to get into, and now everything that person does annoys you because maybe the relationship was more than you thought it was going to be and requires more of you emotionally than you expect. Or the family that you love, but you know there are times that you stay at work longer because you just want to avoid or you want to have some alone time. And because you haven't put the balances in place, you find yourself having to take the time rather than make the time. And when we're emotionally burnt out, we can become resentful because we just don't see how things are going to change or when that change is going to come. Will it be today, tomorrow? Will it be a year from now? Will I keep having to work as hard or do as much? Am I going to make it through this stressful time in my life? Those are some of the thoughts that we have when we're emotionally burnt out. So, how do we prevent from getting to that point? And I know that you already know the answer. One of those answers is going to be definitely balance. That sometimes we have to stop everything and we have to examine what we're doing. And after you examine everything that you're doing, start to ask why. Why am I doing this thing that leaves me feeling burnt out? Is it important to me? Is it something that I see I want to help other people? Like, why is this thing on my plate? And if it was on my plate a year ago, does it still make sense now? Or is it time to let that thing go? Is it necessary to do this thing? Is it helpful to do this thing? Is it producing the results that I want it to? Does it have benefits that are worth the price that I am paying to do this? These are the kind of questions you want to ask when you're examining everything that you're doing and trying to figure out how you can have more balance. Because sometimes we keep doing things, but we don't stop to say, is this still necessary? Is it helpful? Is it getting me the results that I want? And then you want to ask the question, why am I spending my time maybe doing so much or helping so many people? Maybe I can accomplish the goal by just helping a couple of less people or doing just a little bit less, but still get the reward of helping and being involved. The other question you may want to ask is, why am I taking on more and more? Can I start to say no? And what can I start to say no in? Like, which areas of my life can I start to say no to bring me back to a place of balance? You want to ask yourself, what does it make me feel like when I have everything at the best possible level, where I'm balanced in my life? How does that feel to be balanced? How does it feel to be doing just enough and not going overboard in any one area? And then some of us who are trying to be perfectionists, right? Do you actually have to be the best at this thing? Is it important to you? Or is it something that's not important, but you're giving it the same weight as something else in your life that is very important? You want to ask yourself the question, what am I trying to fix? Because sometimes we get burnt out and emotionally exhausted because we're trying to fix something and we're working so hard to fix, to cover up, or to make up for something that we find ourselves doing 120% above what's needed because we feel guilty, because we're trying to fix something that we might have broken, a relationship that's broken, trust that's been broken, or because we're out of balance in one area, we're trying to make up for it in another area, and we're doing too much all over. You also want to start to understand, why do you feel compelled to keep doing something and not asking for help when you're at a place where you might need help? If you're the kind of person that just suffers through and keeps working no matter what and doesn't ask for help, you want to ask why. What's that about for you? Because that very question, right, of asking someone to help you out could make the difference in preventing burnout. Now, some people get burnt out because they're doing so much to become enough. And you want to ask yourself, what is enough? Am I enough? Am what I'm doing enough? And if the answer is yes, which it is, you are enough. And oftentimes we are doing enough, right? Then you want to make sure that you bring balance in. And sometimes we get in the way of other people wanting to help us. And so if you're getting in the way of people who've come to you and said, hey, how can I help? Then you might want to figure out, why do I keep stopping them from helping when they're willing and they're able and they're even asking me to do it? So the next question we're going to answer is it too late to recover from burnout? So if you're feeling like, man, I didn't ask for help and I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired and I just stopped doing everything, is it too late to recover? No, it's not too late to recover. You can recover from emotional burnout by cutting back or removing. So when we talk about removing, please remove what you can let go of. If there are people in your life that are draining you, you may have to look at removing those relationships. If there are extra tasks that you're just doing that are not really necessary, but you do it because it's kind of like an over the top task, you might want to look at removing that from your life. If there are commitments that you said yes to because you feel like I have to, I can't say no, and you're doing it out of obligation and not out of a true desire, like I feel good about doing this, but you're doing it because you feel guilty because somebody else made you feel guilty, and now you're taking on this thing, and now that's leading to you feeling exhausted, then you want to look at removing that thing. There are things and activities that we can't remove, but we can certainly slow them down. If they're responsibilities like work or taking care of kids or things like that, you can't remove that, but you can slow it down in terms of looking at, okay, what can I cut back from so I'm not spending as much time doing this thing that I don't like doing or this thing that's exhausting me, so I can do more of the things I do like doing, whether it's at work or spending more time with the kids. And of course, we want to begin to practice saying no. This is sometimes the only way to break free and to recover your peace and your energy back. Is to say no, because saying no is respecting your time, your energy, and your resources. When we say no, we have more left over to say yes to the important people in our lives, to the activities that bring us joy. When we say no to the people and the things that are causing you to feel sick and tired and nervous and stuck, then you can say yes to all the people that cause you to feel energized and encouraged and loved and built up. You can discover how exciting it is to do something that became a burden once again by just remembering all the reasons why you started to do that thing in the first place. What was the reason that thing gave you joy? Your job? Remember the reasons you were excited about it in the beginning when you first got that job, when you first started doing it. The relationship. Remember why you fell in love. The children. Remember that one day they'll take care of you. And remember that the talent, the gift, the ability that you have will one day make way for the life that you've always dreamed of. Let these things bring back the excitement and the joy that you once had about doing the thing that you love. And also, to recover, we have to get sleep, we have to eat healthy, and make sure that we're talking to someone about the stress and the exhaustion in our life. You want to stop holding on to the things that are draining you. And you don't want to just keep hoping that you feel better. You want to take action to refill your tank so that you can truly feel better and get better. And let other people help. When you're running low on the oil needed for your life to keep it from burning out, keep it refreshed and refueled, let other people help you. Take the time out now to prevent trouble later. Take the time to get the rest you need, to get re energized, so that you can start living and loving and caring for others and doing the job, the gift, the talent, the ability just the way it was meant to be done. Thank you for joining me. May you continue to grow in hope, in faith, and in love.